Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Super Fast Income Podcast. Christian here, and I'm excited to welcome Audrey Chai, the founder of Close with Copy. Audrey runs a unique copywriting business that uses both human creativity and AI technology to help business grow faster. Since starting in January 2023, she's been working remotely to help people save time and increase their earnings through smart copywriting for websites, ads, and sales funnels. Today, we will learn about LinkedIn strategies to build an audience super fast and how to use AI to turbocharge your content. Audrey, welcome to the show.
Thank you for the amazing introduction. I'm super glad to be here.
So, you started quite recently in 2023. How did you have this exploding growth of your business?
Yeah, interestingly, I just hit 30K 2 days ago, and it has been officially 1 year, so 12 months of being on LinkedIn. Um, Not many people know this, but I am not a social person. You cannot find me on any other social channels. I don't post about my private life. So LinkedIn was horrifyingly daunting to me because it's a platform where I felt that most people would judge you. And if you don't know your content well, they are going to just eat you up. So I was so scared. But when I launched my consultancy Close with Copy, I realized that I had to find a channel that could bring me the right leads and prospects. And LinkedIn is that channel for that, right? So that's when I first started my journey and started learning how to optimize for this platform.
So tell us a little bit more about your exponential growth on LinkedIn. I mean, it took me 14 years to reach 10K just I think 2 weeks ago. So how did you had an audience of 30,000 people and I see very engaged after just 12 months?
Yeah, so I always think of any kind of platform as a media channel, right? And you are the product on LinkedIn. As you guys know, I'm a copywriter with a growth marketing background. I love converting people, right? So this is how I treated the platform. So if you think of LinkedIn as a media channel, you have to think what are the types of ads, or in this case, posts that would convert customers, right? And you have to build a full funnel strategy from top of funnel content to mid of funnel content to bottom of funnel content, and then understand what post works well for each funnel stage, as well as what is your brand positioning, and then look at your analytics and your posts and re-optimize for success. So you can see that I use a very strategic view of LinkedIn. Now I know there are a lot of other creators who may talk about um, you know follow these 10 steps. But to me, it's not about following the 10 steps. It's about understanding the platform, analyzing your data, testing, experimenting, and then optimizing for success.
Awesome. So where did you start it? Like when you were brand new on LinkedIn and you were trying to figure out how to build an audience, where did you start?
Yeah, so firstly, I started number one, doing my research. Like any good copywriter does or any good marketer does, we always look at our competition. Who is posting content? Why are they going viral? Why are they like top performers in their niche, right? So I started putting together my own kind of research bank of top performing posts and frameworks and figuring out why is this post going viral. So I know a lot of people just see content as content, but put on the lens of a copywriter, right? What hook are they using? How do they format their posts? What is their call to action? How is their profile optimized? What is in their featured section? What makes this post viral? Is it the way they formatted it? Is it the value they are giving? Is it the video or the photo they are using? So there are like 10 different questions that I might go through when I look at any post, right? And this really allows me to understand and really master the foundations of what makes a good post good, right? And once you understand that, then you can start recreating that same kind of success with your own posts. Of course, it takes time. My first few posts probably only got like 5 to 35 likes and so I really started from ground zero and really started figuring out like let's test this, let's test that. And engagement is actually like a huge part of the LinkedIn strategy, especially when you're growing from 0 to 5K.
Because one of the I think one of the reasons why many people give up on LinkedIn is because the engagement is so low compared to other platforms. It basically seems that you're just talking yourself. It's like a diary, a professional
Yes.
diary, right? So when you s- when you got started, how did you build that engagement? How did you encourage people to engage with your content?
Yes. So when you first get started, there are two things you need to do. One is you need to give and don't expect. So you should be spending 70% of your time engaging with other creators in your niche who share the same audience as you. I will not be commenting on a finance person's LinkedIn page because their audience is not going to be interested in what I have to share, right? So I'm looking for people in AI, in marketing, in content creation, right? So be intentional, be focused, and be consistent. So that's one aspect. Give more. Just don't expect anything. And sometimes what happens is when you comment, LinkedIn also pushes your comment up, especially if you leave a thoughtful comment or you're one of the first few folks, right? So these are like mini tips and hacks. But the second part of the strategy, which you can control, is also what kind of post do you want to post about in the initial stages. So when I first started, I focused on top of funnel posts that were going to get me the most amount of visibility. I didn't try to pitch my services, I didn't try to sell. So I went to think about what is the one question that most people have about copywriting in AI. And at that point in time, the top question was, what is the ultimate copywriting tool that is out there, right? So answer that question that is on top of people's minds. And what I did was instead of just creating a single post about it, I broke it down into 9 different carousels. So I milked it. So I analyzed the top performing AI tools for blog content, for ads, for landing pages. So you can see like one content idea can be split into multiple forms. And when you answer that top that question that people have, right, that's when they come to you because you are giving value without asking for anything yet. And as you grow, you can start pivoting your content strategy. But in the beginning, you need to give value without asking. That is the key to accelerated growth.
Awesome. And so, how did you move from just building an audience to actually getting clients?
Yes, this is also very important, right? So it's one thing to grow a following, and it's another to get clients from it. What most people expect is they expect you to get inbound leads, which you will, right? But at the same time, you need to be very deliberate with prospecting as well. You need to do two things, right? You can wait for clients to come in. However, they may or may not be qualified. So there are a lot of people who can come in who ask for your service, but they may not be your right clientele, or they may not have the financial ability to engage you at this point in time, right? So it's hard to qualify them, and you have to make sure that your content draws the right audience. Because if you're going for a top of funnel viral post, you're going to get a huge range of audience, many of whom are not going to be suitable for what you're selling. So that is one way. You wait for inbound leads. And the way I would suggest for you to get inbound leads is to always add a call to action at the end of every post that says like, hey, I'm Audrey. I know I work with brands to craft high conversion copy. DM me, right? So this is like a very specific call to action. But the other thing you can also do is to do prospecting through connecting with individuals. So if you have a list of folks that you know you want to target, you can reach out to them. And the good thing is because you already have a personal brand, when you reach out to them, they are more likely to talk to you. They are more likely to hop on the call with you, and they are more likely to already feel like they know you. So it makes the conversation so much better. And that's how you can quickly get from a cold conversation to a close by building authority online.
Mm. That's very interesting, and I think it's important because um, I think just as more percentage of people on LinkedIn actually post consistently, majority they just read and not even engage. And
Yeah,
so, if you have to give an advice to someone that is there every day, publishing and not getting traction, what would you recommend?
I would say do a deep dive and look at why your posts aren't performing. There's a reason behind everything, right? So could it be that your positioning is not strong enough? there are so many copywriters out there. Why should someone choose me, right? I used AI because it was strategic and because I knew it would gain traction. So if you're like a CMO, why would someone look for you? What are you known for? You need to be able to nail that positioning. If you don't seem like one in many, most people will not care about your content, right? It's like you're in a crowded marketplace and you want to sell. How do you sell a product? Same concept. The second thing is I would analyze my bottom performing posts or even just my average post to see why am I not getting the engagement, right? Is it your hook is not strong enough? Are you not providing value? So, for example, if you're in the beginning of your LinkedIn journey from 0 to 5K and all you do is post about your personal story, like, oh, this is what I had for breakfast today, or like, I went for a hike. But the problem is nobody really knows you yet for your authority and your content, right? So, not many people will care as much about your personal story, but if you flip it and you build authority first, right? And then after you build content authority, you start adding personal stories. Then they'll be like, hey, this person knows her stuff and she is human, right? Then you see you flip the way people think, and that makes a huge difference. And the third thing probably is I would analyze how other creators in my niche are scaling their content, because you can always look for top performing posts and draw inspiration. An example would be if I'm running an ad for a company, and I see another company's ad that's going viral. I will want to figure out what made that work, right? And then how can I replicate that success? So similarly on LinkedIn, if you are in the AI space and you notice a lot of top performing AI posts are the top 10 tools to help you find a job, for example, this is something you can consider posting, right? Because if you are able to understand the format and you're like, people just want quick wins and people on LinkedIn are always looking for a job, then job search plus content format plus if your expertise is in HR, then it makes perfect sense. So you need to understand what other people are posting, why their posts are doing well, and do not copy their posts because that does not give add value to you, but just understand what makes it work and then use the same format, template, hooks, post frameworks for yourself, and then you will be able to like re-optimize your content strategy for growth.
Awesome. And when you started, did you use any AI, or what do you think are the best AI now to use to grow or scale your content on LinkedIn or any other social media platform?
I think there are a couple of AI tools out there, like Taplio. Taplio is one of the famous tools for creators. I started with it, but I didn't continue because unfortunately for me, I got banned on LinkedIn, and I'm not sure if it was because of an extension. So I'm very sensitive to any AI extensions on LinkedIn. So what I do for myself now is I create a prompt library where I can develop my own prompts to give me content ideas if I need it, or to help me to reformat my post copy. So here's an example. If you are thinking of creating content but you don't know how to start, you can use a prompt that combines top, middle, and bottom of funnel content with different content categories like a contrarian take or like personal story, right? Or like before and after posts. And then you can also include a series of top performing hooks. Now, I'm combining three different things that makes a good content strategy. And then I'm adding to the prompt my target audience, my persona, what are my key themes, build it out into a full prompt, pop it into an AI tool like ChatGPT or Claude, and you should get a really solid V1. And it's very important that you don't just take it and run. You need to review and refine the results and think to yourself, does this make sense for my audience? And if it does, then you can use those elements to quickly springboard idea generation and get a lot more creative ideas.
Can you share some of your strategies to grow your audience, even if you're not a copywriter? Like, some average professional who's trying to grow his audience and he always get the same 20 people to see his posts.
Yes. The first thing I want to emphasize is LinkedIn is your landing page, right? You need to optimize it for success. A lot of people don't recognize that. They just post content, but their page is not even optimized. So you need to have a brand look and feel, as if any product out there, like if you see like, oh, this specific ice cream brand and you really love it because it's known for its pink color packaging, you are going to remember that pink packaging, right? Same thing for my brand, right? I'm known for my red colors. It was intentional, right? So own your brand colors, your brand font, and create a look and feel for yourself. So optimize your banner, your profile picture, have a carousel template that you use so that whenever people see that color, they are going to stop and read your post if they find it valuable, right? And of course, you need to optimize your featured section. So on LinkedIn, you have this ability to include a couple of items in your featured section. Some people use it to feature their top performing posts. You can do that, but what I would highly recommend you to do is to turn it into a place where you can collect leads. So if you have a free lead magnet, if you have a newsletter, that is the best platform for you to collect your leads, right? And then, of course, your About Us section needs to be optimized. It's the same thing when you visit a landing page, you want to know, hey, the product looks interesting. Tell me more about the company. And you learn that the company is a sustainable, eco friendly platform supporting a cause. And you're like, I'm sold, right? So, in your About section, right, be sure to optimize it as well. Tell people what you do, why they should trust you, what's in it for them, right? Include some kind of proof, and of course, a call to action. So if you're able to firstly optimize your LinkedIn platform, that is like step one. And then for step two, develop that content strategy. Think about what are the three core content pillars that you want to be known for, and what is your unique positioning in the marketplace. For example, for me, my unique positioning is I am the AI copywriter. I own that space and nobody can take it away from me. Your goal is not to just exist in someone's mind. Your goal is to crush it. And that is what you need to aim to do, right? So if I'm the AI copywriter, what do I talk about? Of course, AI and copywriting. And the third pillar for me would be growth or entrepreneurship because I know that that resonates with a lot of people, right? Again, very strategic in coming up with my content pillars. And the third thing is to commit to posting at least 2 times a week for a start because you need to get into the habit of it. My first post used to take me 1 week to write. I was so freaked out. I didn't know what to say. And I was like, ah, no one's going to care, right? It's a habit, it's a skill set. The more reps you put in, the easier it gets. Today, it can take me 5 to 10 minutes to write a post that can go viral because I now understand the platform and I'm very comfortable and confident writing for it. So, I would highly recommend you to do these three things: optimize your platform, develop a content strategy, and of course, practice writing and posting.
Thank you so much. That was really amazing. And what would you say to convert people into clients for people selling services or other people trying to book appointment? How did you find LinkedIn to book appointment?
Yeah, that's why I said there is two strategies, right, when it comes to prospecting. One is inbound, and then one is actual cold DMs. And it's not cold anymore; it's probably warm because you have a platform, right? So use your content to bring the right leads in. So don't just chase the numbers. I used to make the mistake of thinking the more viral my post gets, the more leads I get. But that is definitely wrong. It's a misconception because the quality of leads you're going to bring in from a viral post will never be the same as the quality of leads you want to bring in from a mid or bottom of funnel post. So, for example, if I talk about the top 10 AI copywriting tools, people are just going to be like, they're so cool, and then they're going to share it, right? But do they know what I do? Do they know what I'm known for? Of course not, right? Versus a mid of funnel post that shows people this is how I create um, LinkedIn posts with AI, right? And then I showcase my expertise. Versus a bottom of funnel post that says this is what my client said about my program. She loved it. She achieved XYZ growth in this amount of time. You're going to love it too, right? So the people that you're going to bring and attract your profile through these types of content will differ. Top of funnel will give you huge amounts of impressions if done right, but they're not going to bring you the right leads. If you look at bottom of funnel posts, not all people are going to care about it, but they're going to bring you really quality prospects, right? So think about people who come in then. And one additional tip I have is look at the people who visit your profile or follow your content, because most people don't engage with your content. You will find that there are a lot of silent viewers and consumers of LinkedIn content, and sometimes your founder or CEO is just going to be reading your content and not going to be commenting on it, right? So look out for people who are viewing your profile, checking your stuff out, silently following you, and then you take the initiative and reach out to them, right? And that allows you to have that conversation and then move things to the next stage.
Wow. Would you say most of the leads for your business are coming from LinkedIn?
Yes, absolutely, 100%. I'm very happy to say that initially before LinkedIn, because I was so resistant to starting my own personal brand, I actually tried everything else. I went for networking events. I joined Telegram groups. Then I even reached out to like friends, contacts, and old business acquaintances, right? But none of it was consistent. None of it was growing. It was a huge investment in time with very little ROI, and you don't know when your next lead is going to come. So LinkedIn, on the other hand, gives you so much more control because now you are in charge of the content, you are in charge of the prospecting, and you can take action to see results. And that's why it's such a powerful platform to leverage.
How did your day to day on LinkedIn change since your beginning?
Yeah, in the beginning, right? I think, like what I said, I take 1 to 2 weeks to write any post. Now it takes me 5 to 10 minutes to write the post copy, and with AI and with the AI tool that I've been working on, I can get it down to 1 minute, which is super cool. So that process has evolved. And in terms of like content strategy, it pivoted a lot. Initially, I was just focusing on viral posts. I was trying to aim for virality every time because I thought numbers would bring leads, right? And I turned out that was not right. So I had to pivot at the 10K follower mark from top of funnel to mid of funnel. And you can see my entire content strategy pivoting. But I would drop in 1 or 2 viral posts every couple of months. So to get the visibility up. So there's a balance, right, in terms of like content strategy. And I think for engagement wise, I used to be very active engaging with other folks. Now I still do so, but what I do now is I spend more time in the inbox forming actual relationships with partners, with new creators, with potential prospects, because that is where the magic happens. Content is just one aspect of it. The other part of it is really building that community through actual engagements and hopping on calls and getting to know people. And the interesting thing is, because there are so many creators who are also founders, solopreneurs, or entrepreneurs, right? You exchange so many insights, and it's always like, hey, I need help with this, and someone is going to step in to help, and I also offer my support in different ways. So that part of community is actually really really strong, and not many people see that. So they think that it's just likes and comments, but they don't see what goes on behind the scenes of really getting to know people. And really, that's, I think, the greatest unlock for me.
You mentioned something very interesting, and you're also be very good in building relationship. And so, how do you build this relationship, and how do you um, somehow move from this relationship to opportunities?
It depends on a couple of things, but the first rule of thumb for me is give and don't expect anything. I think add value in your content, add value in your relationships, and just don't try to sell or don't try to get anything in return, because I think it's the idea of reciprocity, right? The more you give, the more people will want to give and share as well. And that really has helped me a lot. When it comes to prospecting and talking to clients, I think it's to figure out whether you and your client have the right fit and whether you can add value to them. Because when you change the mindset from selling to how can I help you, then that's how the conversation shifts, right? And then you retain a lot of that authenticity. And because I love the work that I do, so my passion also comes through. And that's how genuine, strong relationships are formed. And if I can help someone out in any way, whether it's to leave a review on their site, attend their podcast, be a part of their speaker session, I'm more than happy to, right? Because at the end of the day, if I can support someone else on their journey, it helps them grow. And of course, eventually, they are going to try to help me grow as well. And that really forms the foundation of what makes community.
That was so valuable. What are you going to do next? I mean, now you have 30,000 followers on LinkedIn. Your business is growing. You figure out how to publish your content in 1 minute. What's next for you?
Yeah, I think this is a super question and super time because I have just dropped the LinkedIn Launchpad. And this is a system that I've put, it's a baby, right? Because I've spent so much effort growing my presence. And it's not easy. I spent hours testing, optimizing, failing, right? And trying before succeeding and getting to where I am today. And I hope to be able to impact that knowledge to even more people. So, what the LinkedIn Launchpad actually includes is it's a three-in-one system where A, I have a virtual masterclass that's power packed with the content strategies that I have mastered in order to accelerate your growth. So you don't have to make my same painful mistakes and can really like supercharge your success. B, I'm working with a really good designer called Awais. He works with the top 1% of LinkedIn creators and he is going to help you to optimize your profile with a new banner, a new profile picture, and a new carousel. Like what I said, right? Branding is as important as your copy. And of course, the third part that I briefly talked about previously is the AI content tool. So Jake is a really cool AI automation specialist whom I also met on LinkedIn. Like what I said, you can really meet business partners, right? So we put our heads together and over like 4 to 5 months, we have been building this tool that helps us create posts at a much faster scale. So if you combine AI content creation with strategy from the masterclass with a new look and feel, you will be able to set yourself up for success so much more quicker than trying to figure out the different moving parts. So it's really a system to help people to launch with confidence.
That sounds exciting. How can our listener follow your journey?
If they are looking for some help, feel free to drop me a message on LinkedIn. I am always there. So you can find me Audrey Chia, Chia, or type close with copy, and you should be able to find my striking rate profile. And of course, like if you're interested in the launchpad, you can sign up for the wait list. And by the time we hear it, we might already be live. So really excited for that.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Audrey, for your time and all the tips you share. So valuable.
Thank you
Talk
for
to you
having
later.
me.
Take
Cheers.
care. Bye bye.